If this is your first time thinking about upgrading your fog lights to LED or HID or something different, you gotta watch this video because I'm gonna go over the different options you have, whether it's light bulb replacements like LED or HID, full assembly replacements like LED projectors or off-road lights, and explain to you why you would pick one over the other. One of them isn't necessarily better than the other, they're all different. So by the end of this video, you're gonna know exactly what you need for your next fog light project. Step number one in upgrading your fog lights is to understand either what bulb you have or to find the right kit for your vehicle. If you go to headlightrevolution.com, type in your year, make, and model, we're going to show you all the different fog light upgrades that you can get for your vehicle. You don't even need to know anything about the fog light that you have. We'll show you what fits your vehicle. However, if you're just going to pull out your light bulb and find a replacement, it's simple. We actually have a whole other video that goes through this process to make it really easy for you to understand what your original halogen bulb is. So go check that out, and then let's talk about replacements. First thing that most people are looking for today are LED bulbs. LED bulbs look like your original bulb with the same connector, the same mounting collar, the same O-ring, and the LED chip is in the same place as your original filament. These are great for something that's pretty bright, very plug and play, easy to install, but they normally only come in one or two colors. For example, the SV4 comes in a 6000K cool white color or a 3000K golden yellow color. If you want a different color than that, we recommend talking about HID. Now, something to keep in mind in the entire process of color is normally you want your headlights to match your fog lights. So think about that also. If you're going to keep halogen headlights, you might want LED or HID that looks like the same color. But if your vehicle has LED headlights, you want to figure out what color they are and match that accordingly. A product that's going to give you a little bit different look than LED and has more color options is HID. Now, it acts real similar in terms of how the bulb gets replaced because the HID bulb has the same connection, the same mounting tabs, the same O-ring, and the gas capsule inside is in the same spot as your filament. So as far as insulation goes, it's the same. Take your original light bulb out of your fog light and install the new bulb and hook it up to your wiring. You can see the wire connection on the HID kit is the same as your original fog light. So everything plugs in without any modifications. The big reasons why you would go with an HID kit are simple. Number one is they're pretty tried and true and reliable. Number two, they're way brighter than your stock fog lights. Number three, the beam created by an HID looks different both on the road and looking at the vehicle as it shines on your fog lights. Also, you can get these in different power levels. If you want a moderately bright option, you go with a 35 watt HID kit. If you want a super bright option, you go with a 55 watt HID kit. But the most important reason why you would choose HID is because of the multiple color options. They have yellow, natural white, bright white, blue, and a bunch of other colors depending on what you're getting. So if you're really picky about exactly what color you want, you might want to look into HID for your fog lights. However, be careful because HIDs run hotter than their LED counterparts. In some circumstances, an HID bulb might get hot enough to melt the plastic lens on your fog light. This is an extremely rare problem to have, but it is possible. So I would suggest if you're going to do an HID fog light upgrade, go on the vehicle specific forums and see if anybody else has had issues with that first. The next option for fog lights is an entire assembly replacement. Instead of just replacing the one light bulb, you're going to take out your entire assembly for your fog lights and replace it with a new one. Now, Morimoto sells a bunch of different shaped fog light assemblies that fit most vehicles. So here we have one for a Jeep Wrangler, here we have one for a Toyota Tundra, and you can see they're similar, but they're actually pretty different. The shape of the fog light is going to be the exact same dimensions and shape as your stock fog light housing, and then the brackets are going to be the same. Lastly, if you get the right one for your vehicle, the wire harness will be the same too. You see this wire connector is the same connection as your halogen fog light bulb. So when you take out your original fog light assembly and replace it with this one, you've got a plug and play install. There are several different products on the market like this. They are considered a DOT compliant fog light with an OEM style beam. The difference between those and Morimoto is the Morimoto ones are brighter, more reliable with a better warranty, and my favorite part is the look. High quality, blackout look projector fog light. You're not going to find this in many catalogs. Choosing the Morimoto XB LED projector fog lights are a great option if you want to retain the original function of your car's light. What I mean is, generally the fog lights are supposed to be less bright than your headlights. The fog lights are only supposed to illuminate the foreground between your bumper and where your headlight beam starts. If you go with something like what we're going to talk about next, where it's actually a super bright light that potentially overpowers your headlights, you're actually going to impede your ability to see down the road unless you've got like a light bar, which obviously isn't legal to use. The problem is your headlights are designed to give you the proper ratio of brightness from about 25 feet in front of your vehicle all the way down to 150 feet. And the light intensity changes to give you the most downrange vision possible. Once you alter that recipe and you put a ton of foreground lighting, it's actually going to make it harder to see farther away. You're going to be focused on all that light 50 feet in front of your vehicle, and that's going to limit your nighttime vision. But if something like that is what you want, a super bright fog light, there's great options like the Diode Dynamics SS3, Baja Design Squadron, the Vision X Optimus. There's things from Rigid and KC Highlights. A lot of these companies that do off-road fog lights have vehicle-specific kits. Now, when you get the off-road light from companies like this one is the Baja Design Squadron, it just looks like a regular off-road light pod because that's what it is. Then they go and they make a vehicle-specific bracket like what you see on the Morimoto lights to fit your specific application. Something to keep in mind is even though the off-road light kits for your fog lights are going to come with the right brackets, a lot of the times the wiring is more complicated. Baja Designs, for example, sends you a universal relay harness that goes to your battery and you get to figure out how to wire it up. The off-road light kits for your fog lights are a cool option because they come in different looks, different intensities, different colors, and different beam patterns. If you actually are going to take this thing off-road, an off-road light might be a really great option for high-speed driving. So as you can see, they're all better and brighter than what you have now. Your stock fog lights with halogen light bulbs are pretty pathetic. A lot of times they're on there just because people expect them to be, but if you want to actually use them, these light bulb upgrades and these housing upgrades are great options. Now, if you go to headlightrevolution.com, we'll show you everything that fits your vehicle. And if you still need help, give us a call.